As the smartphone market has matured, phones seem to have become increasingly uniform, with fewer and fewer visible differences between them. But both LG's new plus-size effort, the LG V10, and Samsung's oversized flagship, the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, have interesting features that really make them stand out. But which is better? LG V10 vs Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus comparison. Designed The LG V10 and Galaxy S6 Edge are both fairly distinctive devices, but for quite different reasons. One look at the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus tells you how much importance Samsung placed upon design in this instance. The sleek, dual-edge, curved display screams premium, as do the materials, from the 5.7-inch Gorilla Glass display to the thin aluminum frame. Although the screen is large, the phone doesn't actually feel all that massive thanks to the clever ways Samsung has dotted the buttons around the phone's body. The glass on the back of the phone looks great, but is totally a fingerprint magnet, and, as is the case with many newer models, and the sleek, thin design does make the S6 Edge Plus feel a little fragile. You'll probably want to invest in a decent cover if this is the phone you plumb for. It's fair to say that the LG V10 is probably not as immediately eye-catching as the S6 Edge Plus. But while its polycarbonate body and the stainless steel guard on its sides may make it look less sleek, they also toughen it up. The LG V10 feels robust, has plenty of grip and has a much better chance of surviving a fall than its competitor. All that being said, LG hasn't totally sacrificed design in its new model and, although it may look a little cheaper than the S6 Edge Plus, the V10 is not an unattractive phone. LG V10 vs Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus comparison. Display. For many of those looking to buy either of these phones, the display will arguably be the biggest draw. At first glance, it might not be entirely obvious why that's the case with the LG V10, but a closer look reveals a small second screen at the top of the main 5.7-inch QHD 2560 x 1440 pixel display. The secondary display provides personalized information and apps that you may want to access without activating your main screen. In terms of size and pixels, the Edge Plus display is exactly the same as the V10, although its pixel density is very slightly greater. The Samsung offers 518p compared with the LG's 515p. It's the eponymous edges that make the real difference here. There's been some debate as to how effective they are, but most would agree that the way the screen curves around on both sides makes for a much more immersive viewing experience. Color representation is excellent on both phones. LG V10 vs Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus comparison. Software. Neither of these phones is running Android Marshmallow just yet, although if the rumors are to be believed the Samsung model should get it sometime this month. But they both still have plenty to offer in software terms. The Galaxy S6 Edge Plus runs Android 5.1.1 Lollipop with Samsung's refined Telquiz user interface on top. It has a little less pre-installed bloatware than previous incarnations of the phone, and some of it is actually fairly useful. Skype, Word, Excel. There's also S-Voice, S-Health and the Galaxy App Store, along with WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram and the usual Google apps. While it's annoying that these are non-removable, they are now, at least, easier to hide. One of the S6 Edge Plus skills is utilizing multi-window mode. The large screen means you can easily watch a movie while sending an email or play a game while checking social media. The Edges bring their own advantages, such as color-coded notifications for certain callers. The V10 also comes with Android 5.1.1 Lollipop, and LG has promised an update to Marshmallow by the end of 2015. Again, there's a reduction in bloatware here that's arguably even greater than Samsung's. Quick Remote Backup, LG Health and Quick Memo are just about the only pre-installed features. LG V10 vs Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus comparison. Performance. Bigger phones need more power, and both these phones score highly in this respect. The V10 has a Snapdragon 808 with a clock speed of 1.82 GHz. Its GPU is the Adreno 418. All this comes with an impressive 4 GB of RAM. It's the first LG model to use 4 GB of RAM, and it shows. The V10 is able to perform almost every task without delay or problems, although it probably doesn't quite live up to some of the other phones at the top end of the market, including, you've guessed it, the S6 Edge Plus. The Samsung model is powered by the 64-bit, octa-core Exynos 7420 CPU and has 4 GB of LPDDR4 RAM. It's one of the best processors out there and allows users to access data quicker and multitask much faster than before. It will occasionally heat up during some tasks, but it cools down very quickly and never force closes apps or crashes. The Mali T760 graphics unit is also well made, as is the fingerprint sensor. LG V10 vs Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus comparison. Camera. LG has long enjoyed a deserved reputation for making great cameras, and the one in the V10 is no exception. The primary sensor is the same as in the LG G4, with an aperture of f/1.8. This means you can alter the ISO, shutter speed, white balance, manual focus and plenty more besides. However, it's at the front where the big revolution happens. There isn't one camera but two, continuing the doubling up pattern established by the double screen. But this isn't just a gimmick. Well, not unless you think selfies are a gimmick. The two sensors provide shots with different focal widths, one for group selfies and one for the classic solo selfie. The first has a focal width of 120 degrees and the second 80 degrees. The video camera also allows 4K recording at up to 60 FPS. It works well in all sorts of environments. The S6 Edge Plus camera is the same as the one seen in the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge. It's a 16MP Sony IMX240 sensor with an f/1.9 aperture. The front-facing camera is also the same, a 5MP f/1.9 aperture shooter. There's also optical image stabilization, 4K video capability, RAW support, slow motion, fast motion, selective focus, HDR, YouTube live broadcasting and plenty more. There isn't too much to choose between the two here, unless you can't get enough of selfies. LG V10 vs Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus comparison. Battery from one of the V10's strongest suits to one of its weakest. Its 3000 mAh battery is probably not quite enough for a phone of this size and power, and, although it should make it through a day of moderate use on one charge, a little bit more power would have gone a long way. The one trump card it does have is that the battery is removable. Although the battery in the S6 Edge Plus is the same size as the V10's, it seems to last longer, and you should be able to get through the day on one charge even when using your phone a lot. Dropping the screen brightness will also give you a big boost on the Samsung, and its power-saving modes really work when they need to. It also charges quickly. It should get to 50% in about 35 minutes and 100% in an hour and 20 minutes. In Antutu battery benchmark tests, the V10 achieved 6,366 points, just short of the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, which reached 6,659. LG V10 vs Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus comparison. Price. The LG V10 will generally set you back somewhere between $600 and $700 off contract. Currently, there is only a 64 GB model available, which comes with 4 GB of RAM, a microSD slot and removable battery. You can choose between white, space black, beige, ocean blue and opal blue. On release in August, the S6 Edge Plus cost about $779 for the 32 GB version and $859 for the 64 GB version off contract. The price has come down in the last few months in some places, with Amazon offering a 64 GB model for $699. LG V10 vs Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus comparison. Verdict: these are both big phones attempting to carve out a big niche in the market. Samsung is banking on the appeal of the eponymous edges, and LG is banking on the attraction of the V10's double screen and double front camera. Both manufacturers have packed their flagships with top-end specs. There's little to choose between them in most areas, including the camera, the processor and the price, but the Samsung boasts a slightly better battery and the LG software is a little more streamlined. The biggest differences are in the design and the display. If you're trying to choose between these devices, the questions you need to ask yourself revolve around whether you prefer sturdy design over aesthetics, and whether you think a double screen and double front camera trump the display and software advantages of the Samsung Edges.